Ass lickers today are suffering from licking lips. But where are the artists? 052 home base artists. No love, no encouragement. Yeah, what is this shit about it? They don't get conscience. She asking for me, or the game, or the commentary. I can buy your daddy. It's your love in me. Be steadfast, you know. Because the same people, when they clap for you, they will wash out for you. When your food don't suit them finish.
It's DYZ on the mix.
Careful out there, man. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings.
Good evening.
Are you looking for ways to build a fully featured website or online store without paying monthly recurring fees, and you want it to be...
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Sorry for that short interruption. Welcome to today's, you can see, good evening, Ogie of Vial. You can see it coming out. Okay, we are live. We are live and we are on. Just 1 minute. everything's running smoothly. Just to make sure there'll be no interruption today, I'm just bear with me. Yes, we're on. You can see. Okay. Yes, we're live. Good evening, one and all. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to try and just wrap up a little bit about the last topic of last week, Friday, and also try and touch on some issues, some current issues that is going on at the moment. And then I actually like to start with, I'll try to do this as often as I can. Try and talk about the current situation, the epidemic, staying at home and all that, and I like to give a shout out to Mr. Akenowa and the other guys that are in charge of the running the platform. And special shout out to the viewers, and the comments are welcome. And sorry I will not be able to be reading the comment as I go along, just so I can be focused on the information and the discussion at hand. Thank you once more for turning us into their hands, so to speak. There's a lockdown, supposedly interstate lockdown. Yes, so back again. I'm just trying to make sure that this connection is right for today, and there's no more try to get correct from correct. That once more. So it's just about the current situation at hand. It's just it's because it's gone around online. Not everything that should be believed. If you do no zomo, if you do no say, if you do no me ehwe na ya single segebo, can go now. Da me roto na o sege na ha do aswa ga mi me no roto be aye enwenwa akan ilu wege na yina emenwa na emani ate iPod o emenwa ibrafa kan ka sunu iwe bakotana okedori maga on una di kanu ọpẹ ni ke odege 2015 na ka ahemo but my gbegbe we 2015 ni na be do ayo na do ayo gobo mu enge madia. So on my week pe ina be do information, so we bu yan ni be tie Biafra ni nota eme ori temeni ina ya yeri meka o vika eme mena ina we mena oyo wan na gie oyo wan na lo alu oyo wan na so enwen wan han ya lu emi yana akan lo yemi yana na do miere emi note keke no diare bene ebe kana ge da ala da wa aragbon ma we abege na we na ebo tie kini ado miere abedo lua aron pa ya bedo ye odori obagbo yo emege na tie una di kanu amaike no hia wo ge ari, so maiko enwe emi yana na ege na abiba so my yen wan we na do miere even agbonya te mo gbe we na miere egbe ido fo wan re wa gbona ye na wa na hia we ayo wa ho egbe we fo wan re wo an o we fu ma se sa yo te o na but inaka we enuna di kanuna nika gunu yo ne nda enwon ese na he ayo boy I ko ayen wa lele and maybe so na ko yen wa we oto edo no oto edo no baye edo wi kala mi kala edo na gbebe no oba atope so iye do turning ya ye bota nda ome e so wa gbu iwe iye bogun agbe iye do gun no lupe ekpetu ge e so ni be ni iye do yan wi ro so o say na we ni ye bo gwan and so emi so ni we gwan kan o we kan pa mi no we gwan iwe ye bo gwan ni ya be yan milita o say na ye bo gwan so iwa gege o ma ni ye bo gwan so ibe kan mi emi so ni ya hia gwan be rio ikawa ye do wa ya gwan kan emi no kan mi ma then ikeye bo ebo gwan kan mi so ni yege ekpa me otagun ya na do mi yege kan nda emi no roto obun ba do go to emani mo to bo na petu ge mena ni ya ni la go agun Mr. No we wa you bori yan yeke ne do amanu selu ama e ma wona ba and ni marie tin ba tin e ko no me no win ya no ya yin no na win ya we gbe na e ko no ma no o ke ma mi gbe ma be na bu no ya we. Sorry about a little bit of transmission failure again. Sorry, I have to reconnect. It might be not soon. I don't try this time. I don't know the right way to do it to keep the connection correct. And there's nothing going on. I'm just gonna keep trying. So anything, I'll try and go back to it, please. That's all I can say. I don't know what is fishing with this thing. I've tried everything possible to make sure from the beginning was no interruption. So I'll just continue. So when you can go now, you try 1 year, at the beginning. It's origin, ethnicity, and nationality. Ya can ya go now that even no roto boom. It might taste so full. That ya when I'm here. Even no roto. I'm your boy. I am Mudia. My action would die. Allah would die or emanati me do. Egualo Mudia. When at charity begins at home. Or you may win nana. Or you may lay a two in a gua. He may be guamano and one over. He may go in gua. Na be yenge. On one being may be king. May not be little na name. Na go na re tin ba tin no win how Emami ye neme kwe na ya tema mu na ya temi mu wagbon awe aye kwe ya ni daima na wa mi atemu wagbon egbe ma beri na kwe ko kugbe na ya tendumu. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go straight into the topic for today. And the topic, like I rightly said, is origin, ethnicity, and nationality. The one thing I'd like to address with regard to this topic is that from my last video, I've read the comments, and please keep your comment going. Please, I can see your comment, just that I don't want to be reading name so that I don't get distracted. Bembella, Osama Pram. See, it's complaining the network that is going on. It's still live. You know, I just don't understand what to do anymore, but I'm just going to try and go on, and whatever I can't say because of the network, I'm going to try and get in touch with the platform organizers and see if I can get on during the week and say some other things just to clarify more of the issues. Thank you very much, and I hope we stay on live, and I can see the comments. Okay, so I would like to first address that issue I raised last week about, and some previous videos that I made about the issue of the chosen people, Israelites, and all that. And I think the most important thing for me to do to start will be to first address the issue of who is Israel, who are the real Israel, and what is real Israel. And I would like to first just point out that they were first and only called in Egypt. That was the very first place the word, a particular group of the family was. Before then, they were called something else. They were called the Gans. G-H-A-N-S. And the Gans were the descent from a people that were called the Lycians. And these Lycians, they go by another nickname, Shepherd Kings. They were called Shepherd Kings for a very good reason. And that issue is actually very important that I will go back to address some very key issues about our ancient ancestry, mostly people of Odo origin. I will go back to this issue of the Lycians, and what I have next in line is the Lycians are the descendants of the Ains, and these Ains, to try and go into my archives and get some information out. These Lycians, they descended from a people that we call, I've tried to not get the twist and don't get it wrong, should I say, but it's we have a word for it, but the word we I think it's a bit confusing the way we use the word, because we Iviakpo or something like that. They are not Iviakpo. They were not Iviakpo. They were small in nature. Their body proportion was even. So this is the very first image I would like to show about this Iviakpo, and I hope you can see it. That is one of them there. That was in Egypt. That was in Egypt. They were all around the world. They were all around the world. At a point in time in history, they were even revered as gods. They were seen as God. So I would like to read what was on the bottom. Right there you can see that in ancient Egypt, little people were well respected, and some were considered. The Egyptians were tolerant of many medical disorders, and they thought that caring for all people were a moral duty. So this is just one of the little people. These were in them in Egypt, and there's other images of them as well, other places. Like I said before, they were not Oviakpo as we know them. As you can see, this one are the gods that call it in Egypt. You can see his body proportion are even. His hand is not a hand of Oviakpo. His legs are not. His legs and his hand are of equal proportion. So these were the little people that I've just called the Ains. These are the Ains, the little people. They were all around the world. These images of them all around the world. They were all around the world. These were the same people that form your culture in central Nigeria. These are the same people, and the same people we met in our land, and when we call them Iwiek. I actually think the word is Iwiekbo, but I actually was corrected that it is actually Iwiek. So these are the Iwiek. If we have no images of them anymore, these are the Iwiek we were talking about. They were highly spiritual beings, and I will tell you why they were like that. So these are them. They were small people, and like you can see, their body proportion is even. The hands and the limbs are the same. They don't, but they were just small people. They were very small, and they were not just small. This is the pure. They were the pure. That's who they were. So, and I just thought I should say that and go on and explain the image of. They were called the Ains, and that word Ains, it means children of sky and earth. That was the name. It's not actually their name. It was like a title. How they just describe them. They were the children of sky and earth. And what does that mean is that they were the children of primate human beings and angels. I'll say that again. They were the children of primate humans and they were all around the world. Life existed. The earth brought forth its fruit. Or everywhere in the continent where there were landmass, the best fruit of the earth were humans. Animals second to humans. So the Ains they are the children of angels and primate human beings. This is where the missing link coming from. And they just say there's a missing link. They don't know how modern human Homo sapiens became what they are. So this is the missing link. The missing link is that angels were involved. And I will go into that in another topic. How they came, how they did what they did, and what went wrong and what happened. All that will go into what you start calling your gods and all those things, Jesus Christ, devil. You start to know what those things. I haven't said that they were the children of primates and angels. It was them that survived the flood. These were the survivors. Because as at that time, when I go into the topic to this issue more, but I'm just trying to go into this origin, ethnicity, and nationality to explain and expand more on who these Israelites are. Because if I don't, people will be making mistake about who the Israelites are. So please, they were the ones that survived the flood. And they were not one man, one woman like we call. And this flood that I'm talking about is what I would like to refer to as first great flood. And this happened over 25,000 years ago. Over 25,000 years ago. And there are records to prove it. So when I go into the videos that I will explain this issue more about who these Ain's are, the angels, and how they came and why they came and everything, I will explain all that in the previous video when I start talking about our spirituality and our spiritual identity. Spirituality and your spiritual identity is two different things. It's like you, wherever you are now in the Western world, you got a card that you work with, like number card that you get, they give you so you can work. That's your like physical identity. So you also have a spiritual identity. You also have a spiritual identity card. So we'll talk about that on other vids when I talk about our spirituality and our spiritual identity as time goes on. So I was just trying to say that these Ain's, they were the first to have what we call consciousness. They were what we call spirit, to know that a human being has spirit. They were the first to do that. So, and they were the first to also be communicated with by angels. And they will also was obviously angels could communicate with them, and Creator can communicate through his angels to them as well. So that is why they were able to hear the voice, and they were giving advice on what to do to avoid the flood. They did it, and they survived, and they survived the flood, and they, it was not few of them. There were over from the records, there were over 10,000 of them, and so it is not an issue of maybe the issue Noah, the name Noah come about with it, the ark cycle that this earth was on at that time. It's like the ark it was on was called Noah. So that is when this thing happened. That is why they call it the Noah's flood. So like I said, video when I talk about the spirituality and nationality and a national spiritual identity, I will explain that further. So like I said, I don't want to be reading the comments because it will be distracting me. So sorry, I'm reading your comments. Just that, so whatever comment you make, any questions you everything I've said so far, any questions you want to ask, you can ask through your comments, and I guarantee you I'll reply to every comment. Thank you very much. So please, I'm not being ignorant. I can see your comments. It's just that I cannot comment. I just want to continue the program as I go on. Thank you. So a handful, there were over 10,000 of them, and the families that we call these names, Ham, Shem, Japheth, these are not one person or one family or one man. These were a group of people. They were shared, they were put in different groups. So the groups in which they were shared, they broke them up in different groups and put them in different ship. But it was almost like what they built was almost like a submarine. That is how they survived it. Somebody see same network, but the network was going on and can't get it. I see on live something. I don't know what's going on here, but however, I'm still on live, I think. So it was about 3 families that we know about through the history of time that we've been told that survived the flood, like Shem and Japheth. But there were 2 other families that were not mentioned, and it's very important why that families were not mentioned. So when I go into these issues, network, what's going on? And this gonna be. So when I go into this topic, in order to address who these families really are, this Ham, Shem, Japhet, and you probably will be hearing these two names for the first time. There were other family group that were called Yesta, and there was another family group that was called Guatama. So these two groups is very key to the reason why you will never heard this name before. So if you hear these two names for the very first time, Yesta, Guatama, don't be shocked that you're hearing for the very first time. There's a reason why these two names were kept secret. So you have to start going into hidden things before you start discovering these things and knowing the reason why they were hidden. So when I make videos about these issues, I will talk about why these names come up and why I mentioned them. It's because the people you are calling Israelite came out from these people, and they were only called Israelite in Egypt. So these Ains that survived the flood, they gave their direct descendants were Lycians, and they were called shepherd kings. And I'm coming back to that shepherd kings for a very good reason. Speak Bini. I'm sorry, because there are other people listening to me that want me to speak in English, but that topic when I will speak Bini in everything that's really have to do with Bini people, not these things I'm talking about for now. Like I did from the beginning of the video, it's all about, it's quite widespread issues, not already by Benin, but you'll come back to that. Don't worry about that. So these Lycians, I'll come back to these Lycians. It's very important. It's very important because I want every Edo indigene that is listening to my voice to listen to what I'm about to say. I know for a fact that this used to happen. That's why I'm saying they should listen. So those who know should correct me if it's still going on. If it's something that we don't do anymore, or something that we still do. I do know that when they crown the Oba of Benin, is giving something that has to do with a leather bag or a leather chair or something like that. So please, anybody that is hearing me, if what I've just said, if that's true and it's still happening, please can you type yes and let me know that that's a yes. But I'll go on to explain the reason why I say so. These Lycians, they were the first to make leather bags. And they were the first to make leather chair. And they didn't just make any leather chair. The leather chair was a round leather chair. So from this information I'm giving now, I just want that to be in people's mind, and I hope somebody got what I just said. From what I gathered, from what I can remember from our history, I know that when the Oba of Benin is being crowned, he's given a leather bag, and I think leather bag and a leather chair. I can't 100% confirm that, but if it's true, I just want our people to have that in mind. When I go into this topic deeply, I will tell you why I picked that name out, the Lycians. They were nicknamed the Shepherd Kings. They were the first to make leather bag, shoulder bag, basically. The first to make leather chair, and they were the first to make cheese, what you call butter. They were the first to make it in the history of humanity. No other people were. And they were the people you call Abelites. Their ancestors before them was also called Able. They were also referred to as Abelites because they were able to have what you call consciousness. Men that was a mixture of their ancestors and so having said that, so these are people. It's not one man. You are talking people. When you talk about Shem, you're talking about a people. When you're talking about Japhet, you are talking about a people. And when you talk about this Guatama and Yesta, they are also a people. One person, as they say it in the Noah flood story. So that because these are the people that the Israelites descend from. That's why people will be saying there's Israelites around, but they don't know that this is it. Because after the flood, it can't happen. That concerns the reason Like I said, the earliest of their ancestors, the Gans, and the one of their ancestors were Gans. And there are some people that still carry that name to today. I think 100% basic. I should get straight on it. I don't know if I should start speaking Bini now or something to cushion this. I don't know if I should start speaking Benin. Okay, let me speak Benin a little bit. I know. This network is doing my head in as well. Well, I hope this time around I've tried all I can do. So let me just see if I can stay still for now for a bit. I don't know. So I'll just run straight through into the ethnicity issue. I want to put some images up because from last week I talked about this Biafra issue, and I just want to try and pick it up from there. This a document I extract from I took online, put it together. So I'll just read from the document. So I'll just read from this document because I want to first speak about something with regard to this Biafra Unadikanu issue before I continue and I read this document. In history, even some of us that are watching will know this. We know these things. It happens all around us. If a man marries a woman, and for some reason the